Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to my lecturer, Mr. Sir Haji Haris bin Muhammad Noor. Okay, I am Nurul Syairah Imam binti Muhammad Al-Ghazali from QBBC, and I'm going to do a presentation to you, and the title is How to Argue Properly. But first, before I start, sir, what do you think about my style, sir? You always say my style is like makcik, but today I think I have changed a bit, so what do you think about it, sir? Okay, enough for the jokes. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, my topic is how to argue properly. Now, before that, let me justify why I choose this title. The first thing is, when you argue, you actually show yourself. It's a chance to prove yourself. And when you argue, you actually, how should I say this? In a way, you are correcting one person, and at the same time, you are trying not to make fool of yourself. So that's why you need to do this properly. If not, as I said earlier, you will be treated as a fool, and you will be the joke at your place. Okay, now basically there are 6 steps, but I'm just going to talk about 5. And the first is you need to know your fact. When you argue with someone, you need to know your fact, because how can you convince someone when you yourself don't understand what you're talking about? So that is why you need to know your fact when you're arguing. And second, you need to be pardon me, sir, I need to refer to some notes. The second is you need to be ready to see from the other person's perspective. Okay, this is might seems a little bit complicated, but it means that you need to be in your opponent's mind. This is because when you are in their minds, you know how to attack and how to deal with them. Okay, once you understand how your opponent's way of thinking, you know how to attack back, and you also know, you can guess what your attack will be. So that's why you need to be in your opponent's mind. As the third is, even though you are not open-minded, please act like you are open-minded. Convince your opponent that you are open-minded, so that they will not know your belief, and they will not condemn you. So if they say something swag, something new, you need to convince yourself that you are also open-minded and you can accept the thought. But still, please argue properly and correct and justify your thought also. And the fourth way to argue properly is you need to keep your emotions under control. As you can see, when I argue with you in class, I rarely lose my temper, though I really like to argue with you, sir. I really like you. Thank you, sir. But the thing is, you need to keep your emotions under control, because when you start let your emotions controlling you and your wrath controlling you, you will let out any improper materials, and at the same time you will also trigger the other opponents, and the cycle will continue and will turn ugly. Maybe physical fights might occur during the argument. And at last but not least, when you are arguing, please respect your opponent, because you don't want to bring this fight outside of your argument. You will just want to keep it as you want to keep the same relationship as you have before. So that is my simple presentation on how to argue properly. And again, because we need to argue properly, because if not, you will either be a fool or you will turn out ugly. With that, I thank you, sir.